Getting a motorbike license in Ontario. There are 3 stages in this process to get the motorcycle license. First one is M1, second is M2, and the third and final one is M, which is very similar to the car driving license G1, G2 and G. The M1 test can be given at the Drivetest center. It consists of 3 parts. The first one is car driving rules, in which we have to score 19 out of 24. Second one is the rules test, which is similar to the G1 rules test. You have to score 16 out of 20. And the third one is the science test, which is also similar to the G1 science test, but only here the thing is the rules and science are for the motorbikes. You have to score again 16 out of 20, which is 80%. Now, to practice these questions, you can go to Drivetest Center website, which is drivetest.ca. And you can get to practice 6 different tests on the website. This is the website from where you can get material to practice for M1 test, and the approximate fees for the test is 24 Canadian dollars. Once you get your M1 test cleared, this license is valid for 90 days from the date you clear the test, and you get a paper license for the same. You have 90 days to switch from M1 license to M2 license, and for that you have 2 options. First one is the Drivetest Center exam, for which the fees is around 50 Canadian dollars for the test, and you need a motorbike, DOT approved helmet, gloves, jacket, ankle high shoes on the day of the test. Another option is training centers, where they give you 16 hours of extensive training on the motorbike in order to prepare you for driving on the roads. The fees for the training centers range from 450 Canadian dollars to 550 Canadian dollars. These training centers, they provide you motorcycles for 2 days in addition to trainers, and they also teach you defense driving, which can reduce your insurance significantly once you get your license. In addition to that, these training centers, they take the test on behalf of Drivetest Center, so you don't have to bother to find a date, and you can give the test itself at the training centers. If you choose the option 1, which is Drivetest Examination Center, then you have to appear for your M2 test 60 days after your M1 test has been cleared and before 90 days of the M1 test, because after 90 days the M1 license expires. If you opt for option 2, which is the training centers, then you can go for the training the very next day after getting your M1 license, but you can only get your paper license from Drivetest Center after 60 days of your M1. Actually, it is 61 days after the day you have passed your M1 license, and you have 6 months to upgrade your license from M1 to M2 once you have passed the test, else your M2 will expire. Similarly, the M license can be obtained from either of the 2 options. first one is Drivetest Examination Center and the second one is Training Center. If you go for the Drivetest Examination Center, it's the same. You have to bring your own bike and own gear, and you have to choose a date when you want to appear for the exam. And for the Training Center, it's the same. You choose your classes, and then once you pass the Training Center test, you just go to Drivetest and they give you your M license. If you have given your M2 license exam at the Drivetest Center instead of going for a training course, then you are eligible to appear for M exam after 24 months of clearing the M2 exam. If you did take your M2 license as a training course at some training center approved by the government, then you are eligible to appear for the M license 18 months after your M2 license has been obtained. That was pretty much about getting your M license from M1 to M2 and then M2 to M gradually. Thank you for watching.